muscles, bones, veins, tendons, fat, skin. You're going to learn with me how to draw paint male torso. So number one thing, I want you to understand there is many layers. Bones, and above that, muscle. Connected here with tendons, and above it, you can have some veins. And also in this area, you can also have something called fat. And last but not least is skin. Some things are going to appear more, some things are going to appear less. Bingo, you can draw any body type that you want. If you understand that if you have a huge layer of fat, the chances of you seeing clearly the muscle or the bones are absolutely small, it's going to be much easier for you to draw it, because you will remember, oh, since I'm going to draw a lot of fat, it's going to be hard for me to show the muscle format completely or to show bones format completely. Now let's get into a torso. No, you don't need to know the name of those. Right now I just want you to understand the basics. I want to fill your memory with how do I draw this? How does it truly works? There is the chest. Is the chest 2 squares? You can choose to see that way. I prefer to see the chest as the letter D. And again, another letter D on the opposite direction. And then we have the abs. Not everyone have the same type of abs. If you want, you can draw only this right here. I love using literally the format D, the letter, for everything here. If you notice how many times it repeats so many times. You can just see it everywhere. But how do they work? They are called six-pack for a reason. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And maybe for some people, what it's going to appear? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These ones. Maybe you cannot even see this one. Everyone has a different body. This is one way to start out abs, and then you just go and close it. But that's not all. There's something going on here. And by something, I mean a lot of stuff. We have something here called rib cage. Can you see this? Rib cage of all of these little bones connecting each other to this central area. But you can notice that here, at least the frontal area here, there's nothing. Why? Because there are your organs. And if you understand there are all of those there, you understand what creates a belly. And that's also going to change the format of the abs. Is the abs going to expand? Should I draw this area more expanded since it's close to the stomach? Well, we are going to get there. But first, I'm talking about rib cage. Rib cage right here. This is the overall format that I'm drawing. This is a rib cage. Right here, the muscles here, you have 1, you have 2, you have 3. You have 1, you have 2, and you have 3. 3 lines. And they connect, okay? Do you see this little bump right here? They connect. They connect. They already follow each other. They follow each other on social media. They connect to this. Other 3 lines. I'm using the number 3 because it's easy to see the pattern. 3 main abs, 3 up here, and then other 3. We have 3 right here. And then we can connect to other 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, a tree, a tree, I love nature. This corners here is still just the muscle stretching, but there's something going on. There's a little, whoa, the waist area? But it's only on one side, well, because this one is stretching. How do we choose the area of it? Well, the best way to remember it is, it's just a little bit below of belly button, so it would be right here. Right here, right here, right here. I want you to see again how crazy it is, the pattern of 3. 3 main abs. And then we broke down up here with 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we broke again with 3. 1, 2, 3. And then again. 1, 2, 3. Do you know what happened next? When breaking down the overall silhouette, are you prepared for this? 1, 1, 2, 3. Again. Patterns of 3. Is this all? Where is the chest? Well, guess what? Chest we are also going to break down into 3. But let's do first what we talked that it is letter D. Letter D, stretched letter D. Letter D to the opposite direction, of course. We remove this. And then remove upper area. Got a nice base. How do I know this is the right area to end? Because right here, we can consider it's around the middle. Middle of the chest, it's the armpit. Here we found the armpit. Here's arm. There's some arm here. I'm not going to draw arms. No. I want to have it all exposed. So shoulder is going to be here. Chest, we are going to break down into 3 areas too. One line going up, one line going middle, one line going down. One line going up, one line going middle, one line going down. Stretch it up, stretch it up, stretch it. Up here, to connect the chest, you're going to know there's a little triangle here. Little triangle, okay? You just leave the triangle open. Leave the triangle open. I wanted to talk about the shoulder because I enjoy so much showing this just as a circle. But from what we can see here, it's not much of a circle. It's more of a half-stretched circle. Wait, a half-stretched circle? Again, letter D! Oh, wow! Seriously? Oh, wow! Again, letter D! Okay, let's go again and use letter D. Wow! Wow! Up here, people think like, shoulder, neck. Shoulder, neck. To remind you what happens here, it's pretty much a triangle right here, a triangle right here, and then it gets up. There's 2 muscles up here. They are to help you sustain your neck. So here we have a little base going up and then the neck. Remember the number 3 forever in your entire life, please. Never ever forget, whenever you're drawing male torso, that's it. You are going to have the pattern. You're gonna remember, 3 here, 3 here, and 3 here, 3 here. Triangle between the 2 collarbones or just triangles. We have some lines just irradiating. Well, what goes on in the waist area? It follows as if nothing happened, but thinner. Okay, thinner. Remember here there is accumulation of meat, muscle, fat, and lower on there is not that same accumulation. Stretch lines, just stretch lines. What are those stretch lines that I have just done? There are fibers right here. I'm thinking, they're stretching, right? Because muscles stretch. And we could do that very same stretch motion on the shoulder, arms. We could do that stretch motion everywhere we want. Even here in the abs, yes, we could add some in the abs, but this dude would need to be so lean for us to see that. I don't think we're going for that right now. If you want bigger muscles, you do bigger. If you want smaller muscles, you do them smaller. As example right here, you could go and do this area smaller. There's nothing holding you back. There's nothing holding you. Ta-da! Fat accumulation tends to happen mainly in the torso and then it goes more into arms, legs. I mean, belly is the #1 place our body thinks this is the best place to store fat. It's literally close to every organ, so it's going to be useful as a mechanism to defend all the organs if necessary. So how does it work? Instead of seeing the full lines, you start seeing mainly the ones close to the rib cage. Not the full line, it's like you drew it, but you erased many areas of it. It accumulates in the belly, but not only in the belly, also in the chest. And it's not going to be equal in the chest, it's going to be more accumulated in the lower area of the chest, okay? Lower area. Upper area, very hard to be accumulated. Lower area. Dude right here, he weighs like 150 kilograms, I'm not joking. He's used to be the strongest man in the world. But this dude is pure muscle, like so much muscle. And above it, a big layer of fat. And you can see here, even though he has a ton of muscle, we cannot see the abs. We cannot see. Why? Again, layers. It's all about the layers. The fat doesn't let us see. And now let's go into the example. Marathon runners. They are extremely thin. We can see even more of bones. Why? Because for runners, this is all weight. They don't need that. Runners do not need a lot of fat. Runners do not need a lot. Marathon runners, by the way, not sprint. But they do not need fat and muscles in high quantity because that slows them down. For marathon runners, they need to be very lean so they can not use a lot of energy while just running. And what's going on here? Not so much muscle means we can see more bones. We can see more bones here. We can see more of the bones on the head of the shoulder. We can see more bones on the arms. We can see more bones everywhere. Each body type, it's pretty much us just setting up a balance. Let's say you add more fat. It's going to weigh down to the side of fat. So it means we are not going to see the bone so much. Let's say the bones are right here. You're not going to see the bone so much. And depending on the character that you create, if it's a still muscular character, you're still going to see muscles. Not well defined, but you're still going to see muscles. And if it's not a muscular character, you're just going to see fat. It all depends on the composition. Body composition is extremely important when we are going to draw a character. Let's go to the opposite right here. A lot of muscle and lean. The more lean you are, the more we can see your veins. We can see them because the layer of fat is very thin. It's absolutely thin, almost non-existent. So we see a lot of the veins. Depending on the case, we also see the bones a little bit, tiny little bit here. We can see the bones because there is a lot of muscle. But we see all of the format, perfectly the format of the muscles, as if there is no other layer above it. Pretty much what I show it here. This is muscles as if there's no other layers above. I believe it's easier to draw a body if in high fat. Why? Let's say this body on high fat. I would be removing all of those lines because we cannot see it. There is a layer. There is a layer blocking it. The layer of fat doesn't let us. And more roundish, pretty much. Roundish, bigger. And without so many lines appearing. Okay, I'll be drawing from 0 right now, a torso. I'm going to first block in the shapes. I'm using reference, by the way, for anyone that may think, wow, everything is from her head. No. I'm using reference. I recommend always using reference. I want to always show whenever I'm changing something, whenever I'm fixing something, because I think it's the whole internet. But it's inside of the mind of the artist that, no, you gotta get it first. If you don't, you are so far. No, just relax and take our time. Have fun. I think that I create the artwork that I can create right now because I'm not going like, oh, I gotta get first do this. I go like, nah, I'm going to do like 10,000 mistakes and then I get it. Yeah, nice. After you have done some sketches, I want you to just take a look far away and go like, does that make sense? Am I exaggerating something? Am I doing something very wrong and I'm not noticing? I will be adding casted shadows. I'll be adding first casted shadow and then I'll be going into form shadow. And what is the difference between both? With casted shadow, you have an object, that object is receiving light, and pwah! If an area is receiving light, another is going to take all of the shadow. If this corner right here I make receiving light, guess what? This lower area will be receiving, you guessed that right, shadow. I recommend everyone paying close attention to what I'm showing right now, because when you blink, this is going to turn into a full torso. We have the trio, remember we have the trio 1, 2, 3, but are we going to draw all of them? Depends on the body that you're drawing, depends on the type of body that you're trying to get. Volume. How am I adding volume? By showing the format of it. How am I showing the format? Showing the muscle fibers, showing it's like a little rectangular box. It means that certain areas, like the corners, get darker and the upper area brighter. But is the upper area going to receive brightness in the same amount everywhere? No. That's why we create gradients. I feel like everything here gets darker, but at the same time I feel like we could add some reflection at the side. Because it's so dark. Because it's so dark, it's opening for reflection. We could be adding some reflection right here. Just adding some gradient, which is also called shade of form. I feel we can and we should be expanding this type of shadow to the whole drawing. Why? Because it's not everywhere that is going to have this strong light. It all has a passage, it all has a start, a middle point, and a finish. So this is what we are focusing on creating right here. Loving how it's turning out. I'm going to use a huge brush, zero hardness, and gently, okay, gentle, make things smooth. If anyone has any trouble on how would I paint this, the answer can be something we have quite imagined, which is by gradient map or curves. Let me open here curves too. Look at that! We painted in a few minutes! This is why so many artists do black and white paintovers. They paint in black and white. Because it's much easier to just color later on. Like this. Much easier. Merge it all, okay? I merge. Now I'm going to change the mode of my brush to color burn, 10%, only 10%. Thank you all for watching. You have done it. You have watched the full class of how to draw torso. You understand the muscles, and I have explained about fat, and I have explained about thin characters. And if anyone is interested in learning art with me, link in the description for my art course and even more. You guys are amazing. Bye bye. See you next time.